Did you know that most schools do not teach cursive writing in elementary or middle school anymore? This leaves kids unable to even read cursive writing, any type of cursive writing from a letter to an official document. I'm going to show you the exact 3-step method that I use that helped my 8 children learn how to read and write cursive over the summer. Whether you're a parent, a homeschooler, or just a grandparent that has kids for the summer and you want to teach yours, I have taught all 8 of my kids how to read and write cursive before leaving elementary school, and I'm going to show you the exact steps. My daughter was a senior in high school. She was taking the SAT or the ACT, I don't remember which one. But she came home and she was so frustrated and so upset. And I was asking her, how would it go? What's the problem? I thought it had to do with the test taking materials, all the things that may be on a test. No, it was one question that had her friends in an uproar. One of the questions had to do with primary source document. Yes, a primary source document. And guess what it was? The Declaration of Independence, which was written in, you guessed it, cursive. It was written in the original cursive manuscript of the time. Now, of course, they knew what it was. They knew the Declaration of Independence. They could recite it, but they could not believe that that was the original document and they could not read the cursive writing. My daughter looked at me and she said, "Thank you, Mom, for making me learn it all those years ago." It was that moment that confirmed everything for me, that made sure that all of the schools that I worked at, every child that was leaving that elementary school knew and was exposed to cursive writing and could read it and write it. It was not in the curriculum, but it was important because if we want them to read these primary source documents, this is the history of our great nation. We want to be able to read cursive writing. So today I'm going to share the steps that I used, and hopefully you find them helpful and you can implement them with your kids, either homeschool or over the summer or over a break. All right, let's start with step 1. All right, step 1 is just making them curious about why they have to learn it. What is so important about cursive writing? You have to make kids curious and have that desire to want to learn it. So, yeah, start out writing notes to them in cursive, write a list and just say, hey, give it to them in cursive and ask them if they knew how to read it. Ask them to identify some letters, say what letters they do know and don't know that are in cursive. It's always very helpful for them to build that curiosity because once you have them hooked, with curiosity, step 2 and 3 are going to be all that more easier. Now, if you're not an expert in writing cursive yourself, it still can happen. Just let them know you're going to learn this together. And that is the most powerful teacher for a child to learn something new with their parent together. That says a lot that you're willing to say, hey, let's learn this together. And that also underscores how important it is for them to learn it. All right, so step 2 is when kids start learning the absolute basics. So the foundational strokes of cursive writing: straight lines, slanted lines, circles, and ovals. And once you have those down, you'll be able to write cursive very, very neatly. So now, once those feel natural, once you're able to do circles and slants and diagonals, and once you're able to write those naturally, then it's time to go on and start learning the lowercase letters. Those are the ones that are more simple, and your child's going to end up using them more often than the uppercase letters. I have linked an example of an uppercase chart and a lowercase chart so that you can use that as a guide as you go over it with your student. It doesn't take much, just 15 minutes a day. And really, consistency, if you do it every day, that's better than any long session will ever be. Okay, step 3. These are all the resources that I use. So you don't have to go hunting for things. These are all the things that I use that are tried and true that I use with all 8 of my kiddos. First is the cursive workbook. It's the gold standard. I've linked it below. Second is the printable practice sheets that they can practice. It's all within the workbook. Third is the manuscript paper. You need manuscript paper so they can just write notes. You write notes to them, they write notes to you, and that gets them writing. And finally, pencils. You really need the good pencils. And I've linked my favorite one so that you can see it has a very soft lead as well as the eraser is very, very good. And it's very soft and erases completely. So it lets down frustration completely. So you really want to make sure you have really good pencils. And I've linked my favorite below. So let's bring it all together. We have our three steps. Our first step was to get your child curious and make sure they understand, hey, this is important, and we want them to be able to read and write in cursive. And it's important for them as they become to the next level before middle school, preferably, and definitely before graduation. The second is to start with the foundational strokes, slants, circles, ovals, horizontal lines, all those lines, those are the foundational ones. And finally, using the right resources so that it's all there, they need it, and they can feel successful the moment they sit down to start. And I want to leave you with one more moment with my example with my two kiddos when they were going into middle school. We were at open house, and at open house, they have you sign all those papers all over the place. Well, they were signing their names for their class schedules, and they signed their name with a true signature, their name in cursive. The teachers were so impressed. She literally took the paper and took it to the other teachers and said, "Look, they know how to write in cursive." So I'm not telling you what I think, I'm telling you as what I know as an educator and what has been confirmed as a mom. If this video was helpful for you and you want additional strategies on how to navigate the public school system, I'm your girl. I'm your girl. First, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because that's all I talk about on this channel. I post every single week, sometimes multiple videos, but I definitely post every single week. And next week, I will be covering additional summer activities, both free and low cost. And if you want to spend a lot, there I have those too. And these activities will keep your kid academically sharp over the summer so that they are prepared for the next school year. Finally, now I want to hear from you. Does your child's school teach cursive writing in their curriculum currently? I want to know. So please respond in the chat, put where you're from. I respond to every comment. I read and respond to every comment. And I would love to know what we're working with out there. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's go write that first note to your child in cursive writing. They're going to love it, I promise. See you next time.